Hitachi Energy is proud to partner with the Foreign Desk on Monocle Radio. Powering Purpose is a new book resulting from the partnership between Hitachi Energy and Monocle. It tells the story of the people and the technology leading the energy transition and ushering in a sustainable and secure future. Hitachi Energy and Monocle work together to provide inspiration on powering people's lives and where to find the energy for change in the era of electrification. Secure your copy now at monocle.com or in store in Monocle outlets around the world. And if you want to understand the role you can play in harnessing connections to ensure a brighter, more sustainable and secure future, head to hitachienergy.com. Hitachi Energy and Monocle, inspiring the energy for change.
The last few decades have seen West Africa become something of a laboratory for the study of the art and science of the coup d'etat. Since 1995, there have been at least 50 attempted or successful coups d'etat in West Africa, and to be clear, that's using a pretty rigorous definition of West Africa. If you stir in Chad, the Central African Republic, Sudan, and the Democratic Republic of Congo, you're swiftly climbing towards triple figures. The frequency with which factions of West Africa's militaries have a crack at seizing power means that there is, one might think, an abundance, indeed an overabundance, of instructive lessons in how to do it and how not to do it. Yet, on the evidence of recent events in Benin, these lessons appear to be languishing unheeded. On Sunday morning, Benin's military seized power, or tried to. It may just have been that they were, as an institution, out of practice. Amid the upheavals of the region, Benin has been pretty stable, the number on its years without a coup d'etat flip counter having reached a commendable 53. But by Sunday evening, it was all over. It did appear early on that Benin's mutineers had got most of the basics right. A detachment of troops moved on the residence of the president, another seized the national broadcaster. Khaki-clad figures appeared on television, announcing the suspension of the constitution and the imposition of martial law, probably temporary, let's see how it goes, etc. A blandly bureaucratic yet somehow sinister name for the new junta was announced, the Military Committee for Refoundation, led by a plausible-sounding officer, in this case one Lieutenant Colonel Pascal Tigri. All boxes, it appeared, ticked. However, the recent frequency of West African military coups has also furnished West African civilian governments with a considerable data set of efficacious responses and prudent precautions. Benin's president, Patrice Talon, who has been in power since 2016, appears to have seen this one coming. A call was made to President Bola Tinubu of neighbouring Nigeria, who dispatched fighter jets which hit targets related to the pro-coup military faction, followed by Nigerian ground troops to impose and/or restore order. They will shortly be joined by soldiers from Ghana, Ivory Coast and Sierra Leone, furnished under the aegis of the somewhat EU-like West African regional bloc ECOWAS. France, which was the colonial overlord back when Benin was Dahomey, has vaguely acknowledged providing logistical and intelligence support to President Talon. The escapade therefore unravelled in a matter of hours, though not before several people had been killed, among them the wife of a senior advisor to the president. As of this recording, at least 14 plotters are in the brig, Lieutenant Colonel Tigri has scarpered to destination uncertain, and President Talon has reassured that all is under control and that Benin's bemused citizens are at liberty to go about their business as usual.
Cette forfaiture ne restera pas impunie.
Which brings us to the always diverting question of what exactly that was all in aid of. During their extremely brief period in power, the rebel soldiers adumbrated a number of grievances. Some of these sound a bit like what ChatGPT might barf out in response to the prompt, "Am doing a coup, give me some selfless-seeming justifications that might make it sound not entirely like it's a naked power grab." Tax rises, cuts in healthcare with curiously specific emphasis on kidney dialysis, and restrictions on opposition political activities, this last one being audaciously thin ice for armed putschists to skate upon. What they seemed mostly vexed by was President Talon's alleged mismanagement of the sputtering war Benin has been fighting in its north, with jihadists operating out of neighbouring Burkina Faso and Niger. Dozens of Beninese soldiers have been killed trying to keep the Islamists on the other side of their nation's borders, including 54 back in April in an attack on Beninese positions in the W National Park in Benin's north. Both Burkina Faso and Niger are currently governed by military officers who seized power in coups d'etat, respectively Captain Ibrahim Traoré in 2022 and General Abdourahmane Chiani in 2023. And Burkina Faso, Niger and also military-ruled Mali all flounced from ECOWAS earlier this year, wearied of being told to restore democracy, and established their own bloc, the Alliance of Sahel States. So there. The attempt by a small and clearly optimistic cabal of Benin's military to usher their country into this grouping is likely best thought of as contagion rather than collusion. Ditto last week's apparently successful coup in Guinea-Bissau, which earned its suspension from ECOWAS until or unless the constitutional order is restored. The military intervention by ECOWAS in Benin, however, suggests a growing impatience among West Africa's democracies with the region's chronic coup throwing. As of a few months back, ECOWAS has a new chair who perhaps understands the issue better than most. Julius Maada Bio was twice duly elected president of Sierra Leone, but not before, as an officer in Sierra Leone's army, he had participated in 2 coups himself. For Monocle Radio, I'm Andrew Mueller.